Let's talk about the bag today on An Old Man in the Woods. Stick with me.
I build a fire.
Okay, continuing on in our series, I guess, of the 10 C's of survival, things that should be in your bag, your emergency bag, your get-home bag, your day hike bag, your bug-out bag, whatever you want to call it, it's an emergency bag. Now, let's talk about the bag itself. How do you know which bag to take? Excuse me. A couple of things you need to remember when you're figuring out what bag you're going to use. First of all, who's carrying it? Every member of your family should have their own bag. Every bag should have the 10 C's in the bag, but you're also going to have some other items. You're going to have items like clothing. Obviously, you being the dad, you're not going to wear your son's pants or shirts or whatever. He's going to have to carry his own stuff. Now, if you try to carry everything, being the dad, taking care of the family, I get it. If you try and carry everything, you're opening a whole world of hurt to you and your family, because you are not going to be able to carry everybody's stuff. Everybody has to be able to carry their own thing, their own bag. Each bag, I'm thinking between 15 and 20 pounds for the biggest bags. Your bag. The kids' bags, they're going to be smaller. They have to be smaller because they can't carry that much. Between 15 and 20 pounds is a good all-around weight. You can carry that a lot further than you think. And granted, you're not Rambo, so leave the big stuff at home. In other words, don't take a 110-liter pack and fill it to the brim with stuff, because you're not going to be able to carry it. You're just flat not going to be able to carry it very far. So, about a 25 to 35 liter pack is just about right. Now my little 511 bag here, this is, I want to say it's 18 liters, something like that. And I've got this thing crammed full of stuff. Half of it's got to come out of here because it's over redundant. And this is the stuff I've been using for these survival videos. So in this bag, I don't have any room for clothes or anything. But in this bag, I would. Little 32, this is a 32 liter bag. It's good size. It'll be light enough that you can carry it for long distances. You get into a 50 liter bag, 45 or 50 liter bags, they get heavy. And they will continue to get heavy and heavier and heavier and heavier the further you have to go. So you want to get yourself a little bag, you know, like I say, between 25, 35 liters, something like that. You can carry that. Even the old fat bastards can carry that much. You determine the size of the bag that you need by what's going to be in the bag. In other words, lay out everything on the bed at home. Figure out what you're going to take, what you're not going to take. Make sure your 10 C's are in there. And then add things like socks, another shirt or two, maybe another pair of pants, maybe a hat, maybe a first aid kit. Stuff. Leave the kitchen sink at home. You're not going to need it. Now, by carrying the minimum amount of items for you to stay safe, warm, and dry, that's what determines what size bag you should be taking. If you can get by with just the 10Cs and nothing else, then a bag like this might be for you. Little sling bag. It's a great little, I love this bag. It's a great little bag. But you might have to have more stuff, more clothes. The time of year has a lot to do with it. Can you get by with just a sweater or a hoodie, or do you need your wintertime parka? Lots of things to take into consideration, and every bag is different. Every one of them. Like I said, your bag is not going to be the same as my bag, is not going to be the same as Joe Schmo's bag, and it's certainly not going to be the same as your wife's bag or your kids' bags. Everyone is different, but everyone should have the 10 C's in the bag, and everyone should know how to use the 10 C's. Making fire, using char cloth, boiling water, you know, the whole 9 yards. Another thing you want to take into consideration is your location. The location of where you are and the location of where you're going to. If you're in an urban setting, probably the last thing you want to do is have a tactical looking pack with all kinds of stuff hanging off it and everything. Years ago that would have said, oh, he's probably military, stay away from him. But nowadays, with the boom of the tactical looking stuff, this just says, come and get me. Especially if you're out of shape. If you're out of shape, that's just asking for trouble. So if you're in an urban area, you want to look as non-threatening as possible. So you don't want anything hanging off your backpack, or at least as little as possible hanging off your backpack. You don't want to be calling attention to yourself. So now you've got everything you think you want to take spread out on the bed, ready to go into your backpack, to be either sitting by the door, ready to go at any time, or in your vehicle, or whatever. Now what do? Nothing. Until the season changes. Then you got to go back through that bag, because like I said, you might have to take extra winter clothes. Here in Alaska, I'm pretty much carrying winter clothing anyway, because it gets chilly here, and the winter times are brutal sometimes. But if you live in, say, the desert, or out in the plains, or someplace like that, you may not need to have winter clothing all the time. So you have to change it with the seasons, and it's an ongoing thing anyway. Rotating your stuff. If you look at those little, I don't have one on me here, those little E-Cliff bars and stuff, they have an expiration date. Now that expiration date, trust me, I've had them. Once they get past that expiration date, yuck. So any little snacks or food or things like that that you have in your bag, you're going to have to swap them out. Now some of the things like the Mountain House or the backpacker's pantry stuff, they got a shelf life of forever, so that's not so bad. But I'm talking about the little munchy things that you put in your bag to help keep you going to the next stop. That's another thing, the next stop. Where are you going to? You need to make sure that you know how to get there, even in the dark. You need to make sure that everyone in your family knows how to get there, even in the dark. When I was a kid, we used to think it was real pain in the backside, but my dad would drill us. Where would you go if the house caught on fire? How would you get out? What would you do? Kind of glad he did that now. Although, knock on wood, my home has never caught on fire. But it's good to know that I know how to get there, and that's when I move into a place. Or even periodically. I've been in this same place for 14 or 15 years now. But periodically I look around and remind myself, how do I get out? You have to know where you're going and how to get there to stay safe. And again, by having a smaller backpack, you can even run with it if you have to. And like I say, the kids, obviously there are probably some things that you're going to have to carry for your kids, but the majority of what they carry should be in their own bag. And they should know how to use the knife and how to use the fire steel and how to use the ferro rod and how to cook over a fire and what trees are good to burn and how to do this and how to do that. Every kid should know how to do that stuff. We did when I was a kid. And like I have said more than once on this channel, what I'm doing here is refreshing my memory of things that I learned when I was a kid and trying to pass on some hopefully useful information to you guys. So, having said that, thanks for joining us today here on An Old Man in the Woods. Hope this sparks some memories. We got a couple more videos to do in this series here, and I will get to them as soon as I can. But we're coming up on the busy part of my season, so I'll do what I can. But I hope you enjoy this little series. I hope it gives you some food for thought and maybe give you some other ideas about things that you can put in your bag to carry. Because like I said, every bag is different. You don't want a lot of weight, because I'm not Rambo. I'm about 20 pounds overweight. I can't run, so I want to carry the least amount of weight that I can possibly get by with. And that's what it boils down to. So, thanks for joining us. Stay safe out there. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.